Every year we're sold the same old gold story. China leads. Australia dominates. Canada controls the mining industry. Not because Africa isn't producing gold, but because the system has learned how to make Africa invisible without ever saying the word. That's the first pattern you need to see. Africa doesn't lose because it lacks resources. Africa loses because the scoreboard is built in a way that fragments it. When China produces gold, it's counted as Chinese. When Australia produces gold, it's counted as Australian. When Africa produces gold, it's split into Ghana, Mali, Burkina Faso, South Africa, Sudan, Tanzania, Guinea, China, Australia, Canada. And suddenly, the continent looks small. But when you recombine these numbers, something changes. Africa is not a minor gold producer. Africa is one of the world's largest gold regions on Earth. Not symbolically, not marginally, system relevant. Africa doesn't mine the most gold, but it mines enough to matter. And remember, this channel exists for Africa First stories the Western media ignores. We don't chase the headlines, we chase the truth. And by the end of this video, you'll understand why gold volume is not power, control is.
It's never enough. That's what most gold miners who survive from one nugget to the next always say when they are asked why they take the risk. There's a huge gold rush in Senegal and the Democratic Republic of Congo where thousands are lured by dreams of riches hidden underground. But there's a catch. This precious metal could spell doom or glimmer of hope to those in search of wealth. Find out how in this next report.
This video went viral after a gold mine collapsed following heavy rain in South Kivu. The tragedy was narrowly averted as 9 miners emerged from the rubble unscathed. The men came out crawling from the narrow entrance after a man used his bare hands to clear debris. Tragedies are common in this area. In 2020, at least 50 people died after a gold mine collapsed in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo following torrential rain. The accident in the makeshift mine occurred in the town of Kamituga in South Kivu province. For the people in the Eastern DRC, small-scale gold mining is a key source of income. The miners are usually overexploited. They risk their lives digging for the ore, which passes through many hands before it becomes a gleaming bar of pure gold. Miles away in the west, the search for the precious metal has dramatically transformed Bantakokuta, a Senegalese town on the borders of Mali and Guinea. 26-year-old Ghanaian Mohamed Bayo is one of thousands of people from across West Africa who have arrived in remote eastern Senegal in search of gold.
I came looking for gold because, when you're a family man and you're growing up, the family doesn't have any money. What would be best for you is to fight for money. I'm here to look for gold.
As far as the eye can see, so-called artisanal gold panning wells extend near the village of Bantako. This gigantic site has been legally hosting gold miners since 2014.
The world produces roughly 3,000 tons of gold every year. That gold comes from Africa, Asia, North America, Australia, Latin America, and Europe. When you group it by continent, Africa consistently contributes about 1/5 to 1/4 of the world's supply. That already places Africa inside the top tier. But here's where the trick happens. Africa is not one country, it's 54. So instead of being counted as a single production block the way China or Australia is, Africa is broken into pieces. Ghana here, Mali there, South Africa here, Burkina Faso there. Same gold, different accounting. And the accounting determines the narrative. So this is why people believe Africa is small in gold while Canada is big. Because Canada doesn't mine most of its gold in Canada. It mines it in Africa. Most people assume the top gold countries are where the gold actually is. And that's only half the truth. Much of the gold labeled Canadian, Australian, or Western is mined inside of Africa. The difference is ownership. The mines sit in Ghana, Mali, Burkina Faso, Tanzania, Sudan, South Africa, but the companies that own them are registered in Toronto, London, or Perth. Africa becomes geology. Others become industry. The metal stays African, the power leaves. That is why Africa does not suffer from underproduction. Africa suffers from under control. So people assume Canada has the most gold mines because that's where the paperwork lives. Gold flows from Africa's deepest and richest belts. The Witwatersrands, the Ashanti, the Birimian, the Nubian Shield, right? These are not marginal deposits. They are core arteries of the global gold system. And yet, Africa does not set the gold price. London does, Zurich does, New York does. Africa absorbs the land, the loss, the pollution, the labor risk, the displacement. Others capture the pricing power, the financial leverage, the reserves. So we're forced as Africans to dig artisanally oftentimes. Others decide the work. That's not the market. This is hierarchy. That hierarchy is now under pressure. African governments are tightening mining codes, demanding local processing, and increasing state participation. Gold is becoming geopolitical again as currencies weaken and sanctions spread. Control, not volume, is becoming the real battlefield. And this builds on what we've covered in earlier Africa Power reports. Sovereignty is no longer theoretical. It's being written into law. The next phase is not about digging more gold. It's about refining it here, pricing it here, holding reserves here, booking profits here. So in next episodes, inshallah, we'll break down how gold pricing actually works and why Africa still doesn't sit fully at the table. So I'll leave you guys with an emotional truth. Africa doesn't lack gold, it lacks control over the system built around it. MashaAllah, that's your African insight for today. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe because I'm MrEmpowerTV. We don't chase the headlines, we chase the truth behind them. This is Mr. Empower, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.